Welcome to the No Fluff, No Nonsense Real Estate Mortgage Podcast. I'm
Keys.
Barb.
Oh, sorry. Delete. Start over.
Welcome to Keys and Credit, your no fluff, no nonsense real estate mortgage podcast. I'm Barb, your straight talking lender.
I am Bill, your no bullshit realtor. Okay, so today we're going to come back to a few things we talked about in our audio, episode 3 or 4, whatever it was. It was breaking up with your realtor, right? What do we call it? It's
Breaking
not
up-
me.
It's actually you.
It's actually you. This is your fault. So, full disclosure, we are going to ruffle feathers today. We're going to piss people off. I mean, the point of this little segment is to rock the boat. So, right?
We'll let our potential clients know that
Mhm.
if they are not happy with the service they're getting, that they could break up with their realtor and or lender.
There is a way. And doing this now, too, we realize that some people might realize, like, oh, man, there's Bill and Barb out there. We want to cut ties with this crappy agent that we have and maybe call them. So we are governed by, as agents, not as lenders, okay? As real estate agents, we're governed by Chapter 82 in Minnesota statutes, okay? Chapter 82 states that if there's a cancellation term in the contract, it has to be clearly stated, and the cancellation terms need to be clearly stated as well. So in 82, subsection 2, subsection 4, the cancellation of a contract states a clear statement explaining the agreement may be canceled and the terms under which it may be canceled. Okay, so in our contract here, which will be up on screen, right, eventually, line 122, this is the only spot in this contract where it talks about a cancellation. It's one line that's buried in here. It says this contract can be modified or canceled only in writing, signed by buyer and broker, or by operation of law. End of statement. So, just so people know, you can cancel your buyer's broker agreement with your agent. You just have to let them know in writing.
So
Okay.
you said within there that it has
Mhm.
to be signed by the buyer and the
And
broker.
Yep.
So what happens if the broker doesn't sign?
Then you have to either let the contract expire,
Okay.
right? Which another thing too, when you're looking at these contracts, make sure you're paying attention to the time frame. Okay, Cody, you might be running into this soon because you're buying a house. If they're trying to give you a year term or a 2-year term or something of that nature, cut it down to 6 months. Cut it down.
They can change the term?
You can change anything. Anything in this contract can be negotiated. Everything, even the boilerplate stuff, can be negotiated. So if there's an agent that's trying to push this year-long thing, maybe you want to cut that down. Okay, because if they don't want to cancel, technically they could string you out. But if you go to their broker, so I work for Remax Results, okay? So if you go to Remax and say, hey, you know what, I want to cancel with Bill, most of the time my broker will come in and say, Bill, send him a cancellation, right? If it's me, being your representative and you tell me you want to cancel, I'm canceling. I mean, I'm fired. That's how that works. But you are not locked into these. There is an out. You just have to figure it out, and agents aren't going to tell you. That's the problem. That's the problem right now.
And on the lending side, to get out of a mortgage, like a pre-approval application, people will call me and be like, well, but I am pre-approved with ABC Lending. If they're feeling like they don't want to work with them, they just have to send them an email
See,
and say, I am going to, cancel this and take my business elsewhere. And they have to,
yeah, because
you've given them
you don't
in writing that
but you
you're
don't
done.
sign like a representation contract under lending, right? You just
correct. But if you want to cancel, like we've sent you the documents, you've signed them, you can just send an email and say, I want to cancel.
and then yours is done,
And then I'm done.
and then you're done.
But if you have had an appraisal ordered, that's always paid for if it's completed.
Okay.
But everything else you can cancel. You can cancel up
So
to
when it
before
comes
the
to
closing.
yeah, so when it comes to lending side,
Mhm.
send an email.
It's just an email.
Barb's
It's just-
fired. She's out of here, right?
So just quickly to interject, if I get a pre-approval through you and I want to get a pre-approval through someone else, all I have to do is literally just send an email and say, hey, I don't want to use you anymore.
Correct. If you got pre-approved through someone else.
What happens if I don't? What if I get pre-approved through you and then I go to someone else and get pre-approved through them and then just continue the process through
That's
them?
fine.
You're done.
It's fine.
Yep.
You're done.
So on the
over.
lending side, it's a lot more lax.
you're
You're not
done.
necessarily locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're down the road, you found a house, we've sent you the documents, and for whatever reason you want to cancel because you're going to whomever, you can just send an email.
I have a question. Can other lenders contact your buyers even though you're the one helping them get a loan? Does that make sense?
Well, they can contact whomever, but if the loan is locked and
What do you mean the
then
loan's locked?
locked the interest rate,
Okay.
and then someone comes in and says, "Hey, work with me," because that loan is already locked and we're already hedging those funds, potentially they could go after that other lender for their commissions
Okay.
because we have hedged those funds, so we have incurred cost.
So, but it's okay for another lender, say a local lender, because we don't want to say too many names here. We threw one under the bus a couple times. We'll say a local lender. Say you pre-approve somebody, we find them a house, we get under contract, and a local lender calls and says, "Hey, you know what? We should try my mortgage instead of Barbara's mortgage because it might be better." That's completely legal, right? Not saying they're going to do it, but that's okay.
That is okay.
Okay, so on the agent side, that is hugely, grossly illegal. Okay,
Can you plead ignorance as a realtor? Let's say you
No.
reach out to a buyer. It's like, hey, I heard you were
no.
thinking about buying a house.
So in our code of ethics, our first question for anybody when it comes to real estate is, are you represented? Do you have an agent? Are you working with anybody? That should be the first question. So let's use an open house as an example. Okay, people walk into an open house, they're customers. Okay, there's a different agency representation there. They're customers. If we don't ask them, are you represented? And we start talking to them about price, terms, motivation, we're instantly in trouble if they have an agent. So it's our responsibility as agents to make sure we're following the law because they don't know what the law is, right? So when people think they're locked into these contracts and they call their agent that they're under contract with and say, "Hey, can I cancel it?" They're like, "No, we're in it for 6 months," which is a true statement. You're in it for 6 months. They're not going to tell you about line 122. You can cancel your buyer's agent representation, right? The only way to get good information on how to do that is to contact another agent. Here's the loophole with that. If you're represented, say you're represented by one of the agents around here, okay? I can't call you and tell you how to do it. If you called me and said, "Bill, I hate my agent. How do I cancel?" I can give you an idea how to do it. You know what, Cody? Look at your contract. Pull up, line 122 and see what that says. That could probably help you out. But I can never call you back. I can't send you a text message. I can't send you an email until I know your contract is canceled. But you can call me as many times as you want, right? It can only go one way when you're under representation. Versus lending, they can get bombarded by 1,000 different people with no trouble.
And you will.
And you will. Oh, you absolutely
will.
will. When you're under contract with an agent, the reason your phone doesn't ring with 1,000 other agents because it is illegal, completely illegal. Department of Commerce would light us on fire. John Colopy would kick my ass. He would.
I feel like there's a lot of agents that just don't do that in general, though.
That's the problem.
There's not a lot of cold outreach from real estate agents. A ton of cold outreach from lenders.
Mhm.
I still to this day get emails from when we bought our first house when we were 19 years old, 10 years
database,
ago.
isn't there? When somebody goes in, okay, let's talk about that. We might completely screw this whole thing up. So
Or change it up. Not screw it up.
change it up. So when you used to pull credit, you would do a hard pull. We had this conversation years ago, right?
Right. Now we do soft.
You do soft. Why do you do soft pulls?
To preserve the client's credit score throughout the lending process until they're under contract.
And to kind of curb the other
yeah.
phone calls, right?
Right.
Because as soon as there's this weird program out there, who knows what it is, but there's this weird thing where as soon as Barb pulls your credit as a hard pull, every lender on the planet and on Mars and in Jupiter gets it, and they're calling you. They're sending you emails. They're sending you text
and the
messages.
reason why is the credit bureaus, they sell your information.
Yeah. Mhm.
So they sell it to other lenders, and then you'll get these solicitations from them.
Not just other lenders, because you also will get spam mail.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Yeah.
like
From everybody.
home warranties and
yeah.
things like that
Oh,
you
yeah.
should not.
They're like a
Do.
bunch of swirling fucking sharks around like chum.
Absolutely.
As soon as
Yeah.
something happens, they all
Still-
just start coming in.
But still,
it's
even
bananas.
I just heard today someone got something in the mail about getting a copy of their deed, and they bought 7 years ago. And they're even putting it on like fancy green paper
okay.
and making it look really formal.
The deed
and then
for your
saying,
house.
"Hey,
Yep.
send me $99 and we'll get you a copy of your certified deed. You can, first of all, get a copy of it from the county. You should have it in your closing packet.
Yeah.
And whatever title company you used, we'll have it
It's a scam.
forever.
It's a scam.
And we'll send
Yeah.
it to you.
It's a scam.
So
Yeah.
don't ever fall for it.
Good to know.
Going off a
If
tangent
it
here.
smells fishy, don't do it.
Yep.
And if you have a question, call the title company you worked with, call the realtor you worked with, call the lender you worked with.
It's funny when you tick off Barb because she goes on tangents too. Don't let her lie.
You
She
will never
does.
get a piece of mail in the mail from Barb that says, "Pay me $99 for
Never,
an extra
ever.
Never, ever.
It'll look like it came from me.
Yeah.
It'll say guaranteed rate underwriters if you did a loan with me. It'll look like it. But be careful. So anyways, back to credit pulls. So the credit bureaus,
Back
they
to
do
the
they do
task at hand
sell your information to other lenders.
So you don't sell it and you don't give it to other
No.
people.
Why would
and
we
that-
s-
And
why
that's
would we
why you
sell-
guys switched to a soft pull.
Correct.
Yep. Because you don't want that shit to happen or that stuff to happen to your people.
Well,
You know?
who wants to be bombarded like when they're in the process? There's
Yeah,
so much stuff.
it's
But
icky,
the other
yeah.
thing you got to be careful of, they are sharks, and so they can be really good imposters
Mhm.
and insinuate that they're on my team.
Yep.
And so I coach my clients like, if you get a call, first of all, here's my team players. My processors' names are this. They're going to call you. They're going to call you from this phone number. They'll email you from this email. But if someone calls you and their name isn't on this list, they're not on my team. So don't let them tell you they're on my team, because they will insinuate when you say, "Oh gosh, I'm working with Barb," and they'll be like, "Yep. I had a client, got a call after a hard credit pull, and this person, this imposter from another lender said, 'Oh yeah, I work on our team.' And then he paid that person $20 to have their credit pulled."
That's insane.
What?
You know, one thing
Now,
too
That's
to
gotta
keep in
be
mind.
illegal. Like,
Oh yeah,
that's
totally.
just-
And
It's just a
that's-
scam. I mean,
right.
one thing too that you got to keep in mind, it's like I've always been told that if a service is free, you are the service. You know, like social media, the credit bureaus. Like
Right.
if you're not paying to use the thing, you are what's
They're
being
using
transacted.
you for
I
their
mean, social
currency.
media
Yep.
is a great example.
Yep.
If you're on Facebook, it's completely free to be on Facebook. They're selling your information.
But you're getting
That's
sold.
your data is being sold.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
that's-
for example, if all of a sudden I said, "Hey, I want a side by side," all the ads are going to come up on my Facebook feed for
Barb's
side by
buying a
sides.
side by side on Monday, just so everybody knows. Don't put that out there. She might get mad. But
It's a used one.
so that's why it's illegal for us to do that, because
Correct.
us in the sales, I don't know, area, market, whatever it is, they call us salespeople, not representatives. Most agents are trained in the craft of how to trick you and how to get you to say yes and how to get you to do certain things and manipulate you in ways to where you don't usually do what you want to do.
Right.
Okay. They're trained in that. So if we had access to the stuff lenders had access to, you guys would be in deep shit, because you have all of us. I'm not saying me, but most of us that are out there, I mean, they're sharks. They are sharks, or they're wolves is what they call them in our CE classes, wolves, right? They're chasing sheep. And if,
I'm really glad I don't work for one of those lenders that would have to call these people
Could you
that had a
imagine?
credit pull.
could you
Really?
imagine?
People
Fuck
are going
that,
to hang
man.
up on me and be like, "What? I'm working
Or-
with ABC Mortgage.
Or
I'm
the
working
cold
with
calling
Barb."
shit. That's cold calling, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
no.
one thing. Results they don't make us do anything, right? But cold calling, imagine me calling saying, "Hey, this is Bill with Remax. You want to sell your house today?" Click. They're never gonna call me ever again.
No.
You know, fuck that. That's just silly. But if we had, like what I'm saying, if we had access to when anybody signed up with an agent and all of a sudden they showed up in our database, you'd have 300,000 phone calls within 20 minutes. You really would. If a listing cancels, this happened to me down in St. Paul. I had a listing cancel, not because they were disappointed or anything like that. They canceled because life changed. Like we said before, life happens. We canceled, and the agents seen that it canceled. Officially, they are not under contract. They're not represented anymore. And it was days and days of nonstop phone calls from all these wolves or sharks or whoever
Mhm.
trying to get their business, right? And that's why it's illegal for us to do that when you're under contract. But there's a way to get out of it, okay? If you find Bill and Barb or Barb and Bill, you can get out of it and you can come to us.
If you found this helpful, share it with a friend. Leave a comment below. It helps more than you can think.
More than you can think.